Hi, and welcome to the ASUG News Studio. My name is Tom Wilgum, and we are broadcasting live from ASUG Annual Conference and SAP HANA Now 2015. Well, I'm delighted to have a great group of people in here, a really unique set of executives coming in here to talk about their SAP and HANA journey. So let's get right to it. Paul Roach is the CIO of Network Services. Paul, welcome back into the studio.
Thanks for having me back, Tom.
Great to have you. To his right is Becky Brisek. Becky is the VP of HR at Network Services, and she's going to be the, really the rose between two thorns up here.
That's true.
Really
That's right, Tom.
Keep us
That's
all
right.
centered. So Becky, welcome.
Thank you.
And on the end is Michael Johnson. Michael is the CFO, and he's going to really provide that perspective about the CFO, the finance, and how he's seen some tremendous benefits on there. So Michael, welcome.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
So let's start with you, Paul. Network Services decided to go all in on HANA. And you remember last year in our survey that building that business case was so key.
Yep.
How did you start that off, and how are they involved in this as well? Because I'm sure you probably wouldn't have gotten off the ground without their support.
No, I would not have. So it's building a business case for any software project is a tough endeavor. Justifying a big expense like HANA, for our company, it was upgrading from our current ECC version to the version required by HANA, which is Enhanced Pack 7. So there's a big SAP core upgrade involved. There were all the ancillary SAP systems, MDM, Portal, et cetera, that need to be upgraded. So there's a big financial impact. So we looked at the drivers for it. How can we impact the business? One primary was a performance improvement. So the nature of our business, we don't have a lot of customers, but we have thousands of ship-tos per customer. So our transaction volume is very high. So when we do things like look at open accounts receivable, accounts payable, general ledger transactions, we had users with very long screen time. So performance was a big driver. Yep. We also needed to get current on SAP, so we needed to do an upgrade anyway. And we thought that a good time to do an upgrade, a good time to do HANA would be at the same time we're doing an upgrade. We also finally wanted to position ourselves to be able to take on the new SAP applications. So we hear a lot of things at conference and Sapphire about the new applications coming out, and a lot of them only work on HANA. So to protect our investment in annual maintenance that we're paying, it made a lot of sense to get to the current version so we could start taking advantage of those new applications.
Great, really good emphasis to get this going. So Becky, it was made a priority, obviously. From your point of view, what did you think for change management? What was critical to you to make this project such a success?
Well, I think we started early. So Paul, in the budget process in 2013, proposed this to the board, and when that was approved, went to the senior management team, and there was a stream of communication around the project from the beginning, setting expectations, designing the strategy, communicating to the organization, and setting expectations all along the way.
Right. And governance was so huge, right? I mean, I remember I talked to Mike and Paul about this, the governance plan, that getting everyone buying was just, because that could make, down the road, everyone was going to follow on and get on board.
Well, we had some tools. We implemented the Panaya tool so that we could plan and monitor the testing process. Yep. And we created a dashboard so that our department leaders could then be held accountable for their testing deadlines, and that was key.
Yep, absolutely. So Mike, CFO, you're seeing this big project come along and ultimately end up moving to a hosted environment.
Right.
Can you talk just a little bit about, from your perspective, what have been the benefits of actually moving to that hosted environment from what you actually had before, which was mostly on-premise?
Sure, I think there's several benefits. Initially, I think we were impressed by the expertise that we identified with our hosting partner. We knew little about HANA, it's new technology, they were experts, and we felt that they were best equipped to satisfy us from that perspective. It also managed our goals regarding disaster recovery. So we were able to offload that responsibility to them and not have to replicate our equipment at two different sites. Then finally, it helped us satisfy some cash flow issues, because moving to a hosted environment spreads the cost out over time from an operating expense versus a one-time capital expenditure in what will eventually become obsolete equipment.
So that was very appealing to you from your perspective. Right. Were there any roadblocks that you saw? What were you thinking, I really need to look into this, or were there big questions on your mind?
I don't think so. I think we were impressed with the solution from the get-go. We wanted HANA, because as Paul had indicated, from a processing perspective, it provides us much better speed in terms of transaction processing. And I think the hosted environment really resolved a lot of issues that we had regarding some of the business concerns.
That's great.
If I could add on, I think the interesting thing was we never set out to go to cloud. We set out to go to HANA, and then took a very objective look at on-premise versus hosting, and chose the hosting option with a lot of Mike's help in terms of looking at the numbers and doing a cost over 10-year analysis. So that it was an interesting piece of that, is that we really were expecting to buy the equipment and host it on-premise like we'd done with everything else. After looking at the numbers, it made sense for us to be in the cloud.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a cost-benefit equation a lot of your fellow members are going through.
Sure.
From a user acceptance, user training, Becky, can you talk a little bit about that? How did that go, and what have been the big benefits that you've seen so far?
Well, we've done a lot of training on the T codes, because to realize the productivity gains, there were a lot of new codes that we had to train people on, so that's going to be ongoing. But the productivity, we have many users who are in the screens daily, in and out of financial list screens. So we've seen our AR list go from 360 seconds to 10 seconds. Wow. And we've seen our AP lists go from 300 seconds to 30 seconds. So now those users can spend more time in value-added activities, doing analysis, other inquiries, and it's really, really helping us to realize that productivity gain.
That's great. Paul, what about any benefits, use, and performance metrics you wanted to throw in there that from a real kind of IT classic perspective that people like to know?
A good example, we also did BW, so we migrated BW to HANA. Our average HANA BW queries are down 90% from what they were. So some are huge gains, thousands of percent increases, some are just quick. But overall, our BW queries, which again, reporting results back to people to let them make the next decision quicker, significant results. We also had a lot of operational results by moving to the hosting platform. We freed up over 30 terabytes of tier 1 flash storage that we can now grow into for our other applications. So the move to cloud also helped with cost avoidance of other IT infrastructure and operational projects that we would have had to do had we taken it on-premise.
Cost avoidance, that must be music to your ears, Mike. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely.
All of us.
Always interested in that.
Long term, so I'll give you the last answer here. Mike, long term, clearly you guys have made a big investment. Has it made your job easier as you look to the future, 2, 3, 4, you feel like you've made the right investment going forward for the company, and you can, as a CFO, really embrace this and sleep a little bit better at nights?
I think it's an investment we had to make. It really positions us to do things better. Our processing speeds are tremendously faster. We're also, I think, in a good position for the future. I think we're a little bit ahead of the game, because with the announcement, the S4 announcement, we're going to have to do this anyway if we want to take advantage of future enhancements. So we're ahead of the game, we're ready to do that. We're looking forward to Simple Financial. I think that's going to be something that's going to be of great benefit to us, and we're ready to go.
Great, well thank you all for coming in, I appreciate it. And it's a great story, and maybe we'll do some more. We can always get Paul back in the studio, I'm sure he's available. Thanks again, have a great week here.
Thank you.
For more customer stories just like this, please go to asugnews.com.